I'll start with you. One of the most striking aspects of Cooper's work is his ability to feel so deeply and to unearth profound truths within imagined circumstances, whether it's exploring young love, the complexities of sibling bonds, or the search for identity. In stepping into Harper's world, were there any feelings, perspectives, or philosophies you've discovered or perhaps rediscovered that have since enriched the way that you live, connect, and engage with others?
Whoa. To be honest, when I watched Cooper's work before I signed on to Helen Harper, I feel like when you were asking me that question, the first words that popped into my head were thank God,
Mm,
because I was so desperate to do a project that felt human
hmm
and just felt inherently so real and like you could watch yourself or someone you know on the screen and recognize moments that have happened in your own life in front of you. And I think that was just the tone of a project that I was dying to do. And then this came along. And I think it kind of just validated for me as a performer and as an audience member that the projects that stick with you are usually the ones that are so hard to make. This was so hard
hmm
to make, and I would do it again. I think I'm dying to work with Cooper again because I want him to write a movie for me because I want to keep creating within that space of reality where you can laugh and cry at the same time at your own life. And I think that's what makes his films and this show so special. I just feel like you're watching a real family, and it's hard to imagine that those people that you're seeing don't actually exist in the real world.
hmm
And I was just saying a few minutes ago that looking back on the show, I don't really feel like it was a set. I don't feel like I was ever on a set. I was just in a bunch of different rooms with other people, and I was having these conversations with them. It doesn't feel like I was acting or having to turn on something when there was a camera in front of my face. There was just such a flow state between being off camera and being on it because I could just be inherently human. And I think that's what makes the project so special. I don't know if that fully answers the question, the like large question you asked me, but that's the feelings that came from your question.
No, no, it was well said, and I 100% agree, just from a viewer's perspective. But speaking of things that stick with you, Cooper, I know that I mentioned this when we spoke about the series shortly after Sundance, but the moments that have stayed with me are the ones like Harper smelling her love's
Yeah.
clothes, or the bathtub scene where you see your younger self, a moment that so vividly captures the essence of a space, a smell, or in a memory. For you both, have creating and living in these moments made you more attuned to noticing the poetic parallels or full circle moments in your own life as they unfold?
Well, I,
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Go ahead.
well, I was just, you're bringing up when I smell Jesse's shoulder, like when
Yeah.
that I added, and I remember that moment because I am very in love with my partner, and I wanted to bring aspects of like when you feel so deeply intertwined with someone's life,
Yeah.
how you want to take them all in. And I felt that in that moment when she's hugging Jesse and she wants kind of so badly to break up, but it's almost like when she hugs her partner, her nervous system regulates. And I think
Uh-huh.
I noticed when I watched the show again, Harper takes a lot of deep breaths and like sighs because she's constantly trying to regulate herself. And I think the smelling Jesse's hair and shoulder kind of came from something that I do personally in my own life when I'm with my partner and like need to smell him in order to tell my body that I'm safe. And I think that's something that she's doing. She's kind of consistently through the show trying to find those moments of safety through taking deep breaths. But anyways, now Cooper's turn.
That is so beautiful. It's like such a beautiful moment. And you do take a lot of deep breaths. And you actually that was intentional. I remember you talking to me about wanting Harper to take a lot of deep breaths. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. But I was just gonna say I was excited because I like after making Helen Harper and after uh just like in my day to day now, like time takes on a very different thing. Like I think about time very differently. Like there I think that people, I don't know, this is crazy hypothesis, but like I think that time people think of as, I mean, everyone always says like time isn't linear, and it's like, what does that really mean? Is it like just kind of this thing? But I've been thinking about time, and this isn't what Helen Harper says, but it's made me kind of excited about thinking of time as like a cycle that you are actually just getting closer and closer to this like truth. And
Mhm.
like, and sometimes you take a cycle and get further away, but sometimes you can get really close. And if you think about like I one day was like doing some meditation and I was like, okay, I'm going to be intentional about the cycle today. Because I think sometimes cycling can feel really infuriating and you can feel really
Mhm.
frustrated by like, why does this cycle keep happening? Why do I have this thing that keeps, and it feels like you're in a rut. But if you actually are intentional about like, maybe there is some growth inside of that cycle and maybe there is some thing you're learning along the way each time. And but that's what I got excited about when you said that.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, McConaughey. Time is is a cycle, not a flat circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wait, just ask us one more. We're okay. We have time because we have time.
Okay, I'll make it really quick. So, on a lighter note, whether literally or metaphorically, who has been your ultimate 3 a.m. McDonald's run buddy over the years?
Myself.
My I was gonna say I'm very much so I try to get so my partner has two children and so she cannot leave the house. But um she would like there's different variations of that kind of 3 a.m. thing, and it's sometimes like she'll go on a walk with me to our 7-Eleven. Like there's th things like that spiritually.
I had
Hey,
McDonald's this morning.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
but I also would say Daniel Lewis is my McDonald's buddy who I can if well, he's in New York, but whenever we're together, I can say we need to go out right now, and he's like, bro, it's literally 4 a.m.